What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Market Watch for the week of April 4th through April 10th. I'm your host, Jason Zwolak of the Zwolak Group with First Team and Christie's International Real Estate. For those of you tuning in for the first time, each week I take a look at the market in Orange County and Irvine as a whole, and then I break Irvine down into three separate categories: the first-time homebuyer category, the step-up category, and the luxury category. So I hope you guys are all staying safe out there as we continue another week of our stay-at-home order. Hopefully everyone's safe, getting to hang out with family, and not going too stir-crazy. So we did see some crazy things happening in the market yet again. We've definitely seen some changes as agents, and I think as buyers and as sellers are adapting to this new norm that we are in right now. Essentially, everything's going virtual. We're doing virtual showings. We're doing virtual open houses. I actually held my first virtual open house at our new listing on the weekend. It went really well. I was able to interact with people live. We basically did a Facebook Live from the open house. I was on there for about half an hour and really just answering questions. We had buyers on there. We had agents on there. It was really, really great. And I think they will become more and more popular as we move through this stay-at-home order, and as until we get really until we turn the corner. So it's really, really vital that you have a good virtual plan, especially if you are listing your house. So definitely want to talk to your agent about that, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So we've definitely seen some changes in the market, and from the buy side, as we don't see as many buyers in the market right now with all the questions with job security. But there's still closings, there's still deals to be made, there's still things that you might be able to do as a buyer, especially if there were maybe you need a contingent offer on selling your house. Before this all happened, that wouldn't even have been an option, but now, you know what? It is an option. The sellers are going to be a little bit more flexible right now just because there's not as many buyers out in the marketplace. So with that being said, I want to jump right in. And first up, we're going to look at Orange County. And before I do that, always remember, if you do like these videos, make sure you subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notified every time that a new video is posted. So let's jump right in. We're going to look at Orange County and see what happened this week. So in Orange County this week, we had 430 homes sell. That's down from 465 last week. The average days on market for those homes was 29 days compared to 34 for the last week. The number of homes currently active is 4,299. That's actually up slightly from 4,284. So a very slight increase in number of homes on the market. The average list price was $921,952. The average sold price is $915,263 for a 99.3% list to sold ratio. That is our highest list to sold ratio that we've seen this year. So that's pretty interesting there. So there are still deals being put together, and homes are selling close to asking price. One of the interesting stats that we added in recent weeks was number of homes in escrow, because I think that's one of the key outliers here. Like, so if we look at last week, for instance, we saw 4,284 homes on the market, 4,299 homes this week, so not much of a difference. But the number of homes in escrow last week was 4,252. This week, 2,252, I apologize. The numbers this week, 2,018. That's a 10% drop. So our inventory went up, but our number of homes in escrow actually went down slightly. So really, that just tells us that demand there's not as high of demand on the market right now. Our supply is kind of staying steady and maybe even moving up. And I think what we're seeing is we are seeing some homes that are falling out of escrow. So they may have been escrow last week, falling out of escrow, coming back on the market. So it's kind of keeping that on track. But that's a pretty important stat, is to really look at what's happening, what's going into escrow right now. But right now, we haven't seen a crazy drop-off. We're definitely seeing a slowdown in the number of showings. And like I said, we're trying to do everything virtually, so that's a big adaptation, not only for agents, but it's also an adaptation for buyers. Buyers have to get used to the fact that, hey, I can sit at home, tour a house. If I do like it, then I can set up a secure showing. Now, just so everyone's aware, there are guidelines set forth here in California. We have guidelines. The California Association of Realtors has set forth a bunch of guidelines that we have to follow as agents when showing a house. We have to have the proper PPE, so we have to have masks, we have to have gloves. We got to make sure that there's no more than 2 people in a hallway or at one time. And we really have to maintain that distance, that 6-foot distance as we walk through the house. So we're not going to be touching anything. So typically what we do as an agent is we would go into the house prior with our gloves on and our mask on, and we would turn on all the lights, we would open all the doors, open the closet. So really, when that buyer comes in to do that in-person secure showing, they don't have to touch anything. And that's the key. So these are the new things that everyone's getting used to. And as we move forward and we get deeper into this stay at home and this new norm, I think people will come around to the fact that, hey, I can go online, I can look at a virtual open house, I can interact with the agent, get all my questions answered without going to the home, right? And then after the fact, I can go to the house. It may make things even easier. If there's 4 or 5 open houses scheduled in a day, you might be able to hit 4 or 5 different open houses and then set up the one showing, and you can do it all from your computer at home. So it's going to be interesting to see how this moves forward. I personally think it's going to change things even when we're out of this. It's going to change how the business is done. So really, as agents, we have to adapt. And if your agent isn't adapting, it's a question that you definitely want to ask them. So now that we've taken a look at Orange County, let's jump in and take a look at Irvine and see if there's any differences or any similarities. So let's take a look at Irvine. So in Irvine this week, we had 32 homes sell. That's actually down almost just over 25% almost from last week, where we had 43 homes sell last week. The average days on market for those homes were 28 versus 43 last week. We had 517 homes on the market as of right now. That is up from 494 last week. So that's a 4.6% increase in number of homes on market. So our supply definitely has gone up. The number that was really amazing for us was there was the list to sold ratio. So the average sale price was $1,084,907. The average list price was $1,085,309 for a 99.9% list to sold average. That is by far the highest list to sold average that we've had in 2020. Interesting that that's happening now. So again, just like we saw in OC last week, 99.3%. So there is the homes are selling close to ask, which is really interesting, considering what's happening right now out in the market. Then when we look at the number of homes that are in escrow right now, they're down to 159 from 180. So that's a 12% drop. Now the good thing is that we only saw a 12% drop last week. We saw a 20% drop from the week before. So we saw a little bit of a smaller hit this week. But again, those numbers have gone down while supply is going up. So we are seeing the number of homes in escrow go down. So that's demand, right? And the number of homes that are selling on the market, our supply, is going up. So it's really starting to balance out the market. Going into this, we were in a massive seller's market. And now we're seeing that market kind of start to balance itself out as we move deeper into this COVID-19 stay-at-home order. So things are changing and have changed, and they're continuing to change. And it is on a weekly basis. I don't think has been a more important time to watch this than right now, because we are seeing these changes not only daily, but we're seeing them weekly. So it's a great idea for you guys. It's a great way for you guys to keep a finger on the pulse of the market. I know I say that every week, but it really is, and know what's happening. So if you are thinking of selling or you are thinking of buying, you're going to be educated and you're going to know what's happening in and around Orange County and in Irvine. So it's a great way to keep you guys informed. So hopefully you guys are taking this information and learning from it. And my goal is to really just make you guys as educated as possible. So now that we've taken a look at Orange County and Irvine, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to take a look at the 3 different subcategories within Irvine, and the first of that being the first-time home buyers market, and that's anything listed under $750,000. So let's check it out. So under $750,000, we have right now 125 homes that are currently on the market. So we definitely saw a jump in that again. When we jumped up 7 homes from 118 last week. Number of homes sold, about the same. 12 homes sold this week versus 11 last week. The average days on market for the houses was insane. So it was 11 days last week, which is pretty incredible. 52 days on market for the homes that are currently active. For those 125 homes that are currently on the market, the average days on market for those homes right now is currently sitting at 52. So that is up by 1 day. Last week it was 51. So a lot of similarities here. We did see the number of homes increase slightly, right? Which is pretty much the same as what we saw in Irvine and Orange County as a whole. Where we did see this one in the first-time homebuyers market, we did see the number of homes sold stay a little bit pretty steady. We saw 11 last week, 12 this week. So that is staying pretty level with that number of inventory, though, going up. So we can expect that the step-up and the luxury categories, we're going to see some fluctuations there because we know we did see a good drop in the number of homes sold in Irvine this week compared to last week. So now we're going to take a look at the step up, and that is anything listed between $750,000 and $1.25 million. We call it the step up because it's people. Typically, we may see people moving from a smaller condo or townhome moving up into the step up category. It is a fairly large category of homes here in Irvine. And now I do understand that sometimes there are first-time home buyers here as well, but for the purpose of this show, that's how I broke it down, just to make things a little bit easier for you guys. So let's take a look at the step-up category. So the step-up category, we have 215 homes currently on the market. That's up from 204 last week. Number of homes sold, 13. And this is where we saw our biggest drop. That is down from 22 homes last week. So we did see a pretty significant drop. Days on market for the homes that did sell, only 13 days. So selling really fast, hitting the market and then selling. The average days on market for the 215 that are currently active is 56. And that's up from 53 last week. So this is the subsection, the sub-market, if you will, that little category that took the biggest hit in Irvine when it comes to demand. So we saw a big drop in the number of homes that closed this week and that sold versus the inventory or the supply did go up slightly. So this is where we did see that biggest discrepancy. But we are seeing similarities across the board. It's just in some price points we are seeing a little bit of a difference across Irvine. So now that we've taken a look at first-time home buyers and now we've taken a look at step up, the next one is luxury. Luxury is anything over $1.25 million. This is a rather broad category, and as we get into the higher price points, we do see the buyer pool shrink. So these numbers typically are different than the step up and the first time home buyer, just simply because there's not as many buyers on a regular basis, even without COVID-19, there's not as many buyers in the buyer pool. So we do see them maybe sit a little bit longer. The days on market accrue, and sometimes we see that the list to sold average drops a little bit in this as well. So let's check out the luxury category in Irvine. So in the luxury market, we saw 177 homes that are currently active right now, and that's up very slightly, up by 5 homes from 172 last week. We saw 7 homes sell this week with an average days on market of 31 days, and that's down slightly, down from 10 homes last week. But the average days on market for those 10 homes last week was 56. And the average days on market this week is 31 for the homes that have sold. The average days on market for the 177 active homes that are currently on the market is 94 days. And that's down slightly from 96 days for last week. So as a whole, Irvine did see that dip in inventory. So it did come down, in demand. That did come down while the inventory came up. And there are a lot of factors in play. We're not seeing as many homes come on the market as we typically do this time of year. We're seeing some homes that are going on hold. So sellers have decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to wait out this COVID stay-at-home order and then come back on the market. Some homes have been pulled off completely, and then they're just deciding not to sell. And other homes, so the inventory is rising because maybe there's homes that are falling out of escrow. Right now, we're not seeing as many, but we are seeing some that people just can't move forward. They may have lost a job, their income may have changed, many reasons that are going on. And there's a lot of legalities behind that once you're in contract. So there are a set of forms that CAR has come out with that we all have access to that really goes through and will explain, hey, if there is an issue, this is the steps we have to take if for some reason I can't secure my loan because of me losing my job or a different change in income. So there's a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts right now. So it's just it's a very interesting market right now. So, and as always, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at any time. So now that we've taken a look at the market, I always jump in and I take a look at interest rates to see what's happening. Interest rates are still great. So I think those buyers that are looking at getting in the market, they're going to get a fantastic rate. They really are so low right now. So if you are thinking about it, it might be a good time even just to talk. Or if you haven't been too affected by COVID, maybe a refi is in order, right? Look at that. Maybe pulling some equity out and buying an investment property. There's a lot of things that can happen right now. It really depends on your financial situation, and not everyone obviously is in that situation that can do that. But with rates being so low, it's worth a conversation anyway. So let's take a look at the interest rates for this week. So these interest rates are as of today. So the 30-year fixed rate is 3.69%. The 15-year fixed, 3.17%. And again, these are the rates, not the APRs. So any costs or associated with the loan will be added onto this. The 7/1 ARM, so your variable, is 3.56%. The 30-year fixed jumbo is 3.82%. The 15-year fixed jumbo, 3.32%. The 7/1 ARM jumbo, 3.48%. We have our FHA. FHA have some great products right now. So low down payments, and here in California, there are ways that you can get, I believe it's up to 5% as a grant for closing costs and down payment. So really spectacular program right now. So definitely reach out if you have any questions about that. The 30-year FHA rate is, like I said, is 3.340%. And then, of course, we have our 30-year VA rate, 3.430%. And that VA rate, another great rate. In some cases, you can get 0% down. So if you are a veteran or active member of the military, and you're thinking about buying this year, and you're still in a good position to do so, you may want to move up your plans just because the rates are so low right now, and it's a great time to get into the market if you're looking to buy this year anyway. You might as well jump in now because of the rates and because of the lack of competition out there. Sometimes VA loans are, because they're 0% down, sometimes if a cash offer comes in and you get into those multiples, sometimes you'll lose out, right? So, and that's the same thing with FHA. But now's the time. If you're in those situations, get into the market if you're thinking about buying. or at least explore it, right? And see if it's the right time for you guys. So that's it for today. Again, a great. It's been a crazy week. Some interesting numbers that we saw here. Rates are good. Inventory is increasing slightly. Demand is coming down. So we are seeing that market really balance itself out. Again, if you have any questions, please let us know. If you are thinking about selling, let's talk about a virtual plan, a virtual strategy, or at least make sure you do talk to your agent about that, because they need to have a strong virtual strategy and have the grasp on technology to make sure that your home gets out in front of as many people as possible. If you are a buyer and you're thinking about entering the market, we can definitely sit down and talk to you, or at least sit down and talk to your agent. You should talk to your agent and find out exactly what their strategy is, the benefits of coming on now, and see if there are deals to be made, because they are out there. We're still seeing homes close every week. So so if you have any questions, let us know. Again, if you like this content, please share it out to your friends and family. Make sure you subscribe, hit the little bell so you're notified every time that I post a new video. I usually get these out on Saturdays. This weekend was, again, a little bit different because of the Easter holiday, but hopefully, like I said, you find this helpful. I'm really just trying to help you guys out and keep you as informed as possible. So I hope you all stay safe, be careful out there, and until next week, I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.